On July 11th, 2015, a man who controlled the world's biggest drug empire and ordered the deaths of over 34,000 people disappeared from Mexico's highest security prison. His name is Joaquin Guzman, also known as El Chapo. So today, we're breaking down his blinged out watch collection that is mightier than any weapon. Let's find out. When El Chapo got busted in 1993, authorities found something wild. The Mexican authorities catalogued some crazy items from his safe house, including varios relojes Rolex, en especial uno con 332 diamantes blancos. In plain English, that's a Rolex absolutely covered in 332 diamonds twinkling on one wristwatch. That's more stones than a jewelry store heist. Imagine a gold Rolex face sparkling so bright it needs sunglasses. The man who dug tunnels for prison breaks clearly had timepieces fit for a Bond villain. With 332 diamonds, this Rolex isn't just a timekeeper. It screams, I run this cartel and I'm more ice than Antarctica. But here's the crazy part. The 1993 bust included 103 pieces of jewelry in total, and authorities still don't know where much of it ended up. Officials say the fate of this treasure is a mystery, admitting they know nothing of its whereabouts. So somewhere out there, this legendary 332 diamond Rolex might still be ticking on someone's wrist. That's the thing about cartel treasure, it just has a way of disappearing. Meanwhile, if you think one diamond blasted Rolex was enough to blow your mind, buckle up because we've only just started. In 2019, Mexican officials decided it was time to auction off El Chapo's seized diamond watches. They put up 148 pieces of seized jewelry for auction, and topping the charts was a Piaget wristwatch that belonged to El Chapo's cartel. This isn't your average watch. It's an 18-karat white gold with a dial and bezel packed with 49 baguette cut diamonds. That's not all. There are 178 baguette diamonds on the bezel and band. If you're going to press your calculator, you find that these diamonds are up to 227 in total. Even the starting bid is placed at $155,000. Now, use your imagination a little and picture a slick white gold face glittering like a spotlight at a nightclub and set with nearly 250 diamonds. One official even pointed out that this showstopper has been attributed to El Chapo. In gangster terms, it's like wearing a tiny disco ball on your wrist. Who needs a diamond-studded pistol when your watch already fires that much shine? This Piaget is so over the top, it makes other luxury watches look boring. However, despite the $155,000 starting bid, no one placed a bid at the auction. One onlooker, Susana Sanchez, laughed as she imagined a drug kingpin giving it to a scorned lover or wife to make amends. Let's just say that even at an auction, El Chapo's watches carry too much bloody history for some buyers. That being said, hold on to your gavels, the extravagance just keeps coming. Up next is none other than the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. When he wasn't digging tunnels or outrunning authorities, El Chapo indulged in high-end watches, including an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak complex. The AP Royal Oak is basically royalty in the watch world. It's tough and ridiculously expensive, perfect for the guy who once laughed as he crawled through a mile-long tunnel to escape prison. Imagine the contrast, a man who lived like a ghost, yet rocked a luxury Swiss watch as loud as a mariachi band. The Royal Oak is more understated than that diamond Rolex, but still pure cartel glamour. It has an octagonal bezel, big screws, and a hefty bill that says, I'm rich and I don't care who knows it. It's as if James Bond met a drug lord who's half dangerous and half dapper. In fact, the Audemars Piguet was just one piece of a lifestyle most people can't even imagine. His right-hand man attested to this during the 1990s when El Chapo was living large. He said, when I met him in 1987, he didn't have a jet. In the 90s, he had 4. He had houses on every beach and ranches in every state, including a $10 million mansion in Acapulco with pools and tennis courts. But El Chapo wasn't just collecting watches for himself, he was handing them out like party favors. Meanwhile, if this wild watch tour has you hooked, smash that like and subscribe for more outrageous luxury content. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, did you know that El Chapo gave diamond-encrusted Rolexes to his employees? El Chapo gifted his right-hand man, known as El Gordo, a diamond-encrusted Rolex. But it wasn't just one watch. One Christmas, he gifted over 50 cars, each worth around $30,000. This came as no surprise because when you're making millions per week from cocaine trafficking, a $50,000 Rolex is basically pocket change. El Chapo even went to Switzerland for anti-aging cell injections to keep him young. This was a man who spared no expense on anything, including his wristwatch elsewhere. The interesting part is that this generosity created loyalty. When your boss is handing out diamond Rolexes like their Christmas bonuses, you tend to stay loyal. It's the cartel version of employee benefits. This time, instead of health insurance, you get a watch worth more than most people's annual salary. And this culture didn't die with El Chapo. His sons Ivan and Alfredo Guzman continued the tradition, with Ivan posting photos of his Richard Mille collection worth nearly €1 million on Twitter. It seems the apple didn't fall far from the tree after all. Now, one Audemars Piguet and a few gifted Rolexes, and you think we're done? We just scratched the surface of what authorities found. Mexico didn't just find a few watches, they found an entire jewelry store's worth. After El Chapo's capture, officials proudly showcased luxury jewelry and diamond-encrusted watches seized from the Sinaloa cartel in July 2019. They literally paraded these pieces on TV and included fast cars and icy timepieces all rolled into one showcase. They found 148 jewelry lots with brands like Rolex, Piaget, Hublot, Cartier, Gucci, and lots more. This massive haul tells us El Chapo's crew loved big, bold timepieces as much as they love luxury cars and mansions. Among the pieces were a limited edition Jacob & Co. watch with a starting price of $60,000, a Rolex Yachtmaster, and an Hublot. Regardless, some of the most extravagant items didn't sell. For instance, a white gold Mont Blanc fountain pen wasn't sold with 104 emeralds, 104 rubies, and 80 diamonds shaped like the Mexican flag. In the world of cartel bling, this auction was like Black Friday on steroids. Everything must go from Rolex to Piaget. Some pieces sold for far below market price because of their criminal history. But here's where the story gets mysterious. Not everything was recovered. Despite all these flashy finds, a lot of El Chapo's treasures disappeared. Remember that 1993 bust, the one with the 332 diamond Rolex? The media says the rest of that stash went missing. Mexican officials candidly admitted the fate of that jewelry haul is a mystery, and they know nothing about where those watches and valuables ended up. That means there could be Cartier watches, Patek Philippe timepieces, or whole fortunes tucked away in some secret safe house, unknown and untouched. Possibly even more watches we can't imagine. Like a Netflix mystery series, one day that pile of watches could resurface at an auction, or maybe they're enjoying a quiet life in someone's private collection. Either way, the legend of El Chapo's collection lives on. The man who escaped jail twice and built an empire from Mexico to Brooklyn left behind a watch story worth telling. His collection wasn't just about telling time, but showing power, displaying wealth, and adding a dash of outlaw swagger to everything he touched. So, are you glued to the screen yet? Because the show isn't over. Want to see what Maradona had on his wrist? Head over to our next video on Maradona's watch collection for another round of rockstar wrist bling. Trust us, you don't want to miss that cameo.